Hello everyone, it's Sminty with our Thursday report for YourNews.com Detroit. It's Radio Ratings Day, and here are the ratings for the key age 25 to 54 demographic for morning 6 to 10 a.m. Number 1, Drew Lane and Mike Clark at WRIF FM with a 9.8 rating. In second place, WXYT, Bill McAllister and Jay Towers with a 6.3. That's interesting because they were up from a 5.6 in July, and there was some thought that the return of Drew Lane to WRIF would attract listeners who had migrated to the sports talk station. Based on August, that wasn't the case. Third place, WKQI Mojo in the Morning went from a 5.8 to a 5.7, so apparently some of the audience, especially on the younger end, had gone to WRIF when Drew Lane returned. Fourth place, amazing story, WDRQ, the disc jockeyless station, in the morning, 5.4 up from a 5.0. A tremendous performance by a station that offers only music all the time. Fifth, WDVD, which is Blaine and Lisa, had a rough month among the 25-54 listeners. They went from a 6.1 down to a 5.3. Let's move on to some younger listeners in the age 18 to 34 demographic. Here, Drew Lane and Mike Clark were even better. They went from an 8.0 in July to a 10.3 in August, up 2.3% in a month. That's quite a rise. Second place, WKQI Mojo in the Morning went from a 10.2 to a 9.2. So obviously some of the audience had gone over to Mojo in the Morning while Drew Lane was gone. Now we're back on WRIF. Third was WJLB's morning show, 9.7 to an 8.8. That's down, but still good for third place. Fourth, very interesting, among 18 to 34, the power of 89X, the Windsor Chum Group-owned station. Dave Hunter and his gang in the morning went from a 8.3 to an 8.6, good for fourth place. And fifth in the mornings, among persons age 18 to 34, was WXYT. Jay Towers went from a 7.7 to a 7.5, good for fifth place. Here's the overall ranking for the day-long listening for age 25 to 54, and once again it'll show you how dominant Drew and Mike are in the mornings. WRIF was number 1 with an 8.0 all day. That compares with the morning show's morning rankings of a 9.8, so it shows you that Drew and Mike are running a full almost 2 points ahead of the station through the rest of the day. In second place, WXYT Sports Talk with a 7.2. Third place, WDVD with a 6.9, a station that dropped a half a point but still has done really, really well with its music mix and its personalities over the last 2 years. Fourth place, WKQI, 6.1. And fifth place, WDRQ, again hostless, with a 5.4 to a 5.8. Sixth place is notable. It's Young Country, or WYCD, with a 5.4. They stand to gain even more listeners now that their main competition in the market at 106.7 has left the marketplace and gone to a different format. It's always good to keep track of women, what the women are listening to, and here's the score for the mornings for women aged 25 to 54. Kind of interesting, I would say. Number 1 show for morning, if you want to reach women advertisers or women listeners, WDVD, Blaine and Lisa, they get a 9. In second place, WKQI Mojo in the Morning with an 8.3. Third place, WMXD, that would be Steve Harvey's show, 7.1. It's interesting to note that Steve Harvey's show has dropped quite a bit in the days of the diaries. They were regular second or even first place finisher in the morning demographics to Drew and Mike, but since the People Meter has come, that's a station that has shown some real softness, especially in the morning. Finally, this one is often called the beauty contest, and it's the tote of all listeners all day, and gives you a sense of the general popularity of stations. Obviously, somebody who listens to WJR probably isn't going to spend a lot of time on WRIF, but this counts listeners in raw form, and it's always interesting and somewhat instructive to show you where listeners are and who's listening to what, and gives you a sense of what stations have a measurable audience. We'll give you the top 10. This is among all listeners all day. Number 1, WRIF, 6.1. Number 2, WDVD, 5.9. Number 3, WOMC, 5.8 with oldies. Number 4, WKQI, that's today's hits, 5.5. In 5th place, WXYT, Sports Talk and Sports Play-by-Play, 5.4. In 6th place, WYCD, Country, again a station that will gain from the loss of its competitor, 6th place with a 5.1. 7th place, WJR with News Talk at 4.7, tying them for 7th place, WJLB, the urban station, 4.7. In 9th place, WWJ, 4.6, and in 10th place, WDRQ at 4.5. Their audience really concentrated in that age 25-54 demo. Don't have a lot of listeners above that, don't have a lot of listeners below that. Some other interesting facts. John Mason's ratings on WGPR in the morning, age 25 to 54. WGPR has a 2.9 rating. Now, while that's good for 16th place in the morning, or overall, it's driven by John Mason's mornings ratings, which are a very impressive 3.7 in August. WGPR has been a station that's always been near the bottom of the dial and near the bottom of the ratings, but Mason is starting to attract audience there with its mix of solid gold soul oldies and jazz. That's the August ratings. This is Sminty reporting for YourNews.com Detroit. Thanks for watching and reading.